1 year later, I'm gonna be fluent in German. So shocked of how low my German was. But yeah, so the whole year was like this. My biggest realization basically after 1 year of Germany, there is no one outside, it's dead. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Palina. It's been a while since my last video, I know, but today we're doing an update of 1 year of living in Germany. I did kind of the same after 3 months of living in Germany, then after 6 months of living in Germany, and I really wanted to make a video about 1 year after moving to really have the bigger picture and to explain you everything about my experience of living here. So as I was preparing for this video, I realized it's really hard for me to make a structure in this video because there's just so many aspects that come into this. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a long one and just a really chatty video. So maybe take a cup of tea or something and let's dive into it. So basically I want to mention the following things. Language, integration, do I feel integrated after 1 year? Friends with local people, and in the end, just overall, how am I feeling after 1 year in Germany? Just for you to know, before I moved to Germany, I was living in Spain for 6 years. So basically, I really compare a lot my life in Germany to my previous life in Spain. So my perspective is gonna be kind of based on that, just for you to know. All right, let's go. First one is a language. Yeah, when you move into another country, I think language comes like, it's one of the most important things that you can do for you, for your quality of life. Yeah, it's just really a basic thing that everyone has to do. I think despite like, doesn't matter where you're living, if you're living in a big city or not, language is still super important in my opinion. I can never feel comfortable in a new country if I don't speak the language. So when I moved, I already had some basic German. I was living in Germany like for some months 7 years ago. So I already was learning German in my university. Then I moved to Spain for 6 years and I completely forgot my German. I was learning Spanish and so on. So yeah, it was just lost. When I came here, I really knew that I have to like get into learning German properly because I had the basics and yes, maybe some things on the back of my mind, but I really didn't remember it. And honestly, when I came and we moved to Bavaria, so people here also speak with an accent and they have this Franconisch dialect and so on. And sometimes it's just like in the beginning, I just couldn't understand anything. Like I was so shocked of how low my German was. I thought it would be better, but I just really didn't understand anything that people were saying, even in most basic situations when you're buying bread or things like this. And at the time I thought, 1 year later, I'm going to be fluent in German. And yeah, I'm just imagining myself like speaking with locals and so on. Well, that didn't happen. German is a really difficult language. And, you know, honestly, I'm not going to tell you like, no, you cannot learn German in 1 year. Everyone is so different. And if you put a lot of effort into learning German, you definitely can become fluent in 1 year. I really believe so. I did not put as much effort into learning German, especially in the beginning. I was just focusing a lot on other things. In the beginning, you're really overwhelmed with the moving situation and, you know, settling in that sense, the bureaucracy, opening bank accounts and so on. And you really don't have time or energy to also like learn German very intensively, especially if you work full time. Then after some months, actually, maybe after half a year, I realized that I'm really not satisfied with how my German was not improving at all after half year in the country, and I started to go to online classes. And yeah, I shared about it several times in my previous videos. I was doing online classes with Lingoda. I'm still actually doing them, and that's when my German actually started to improve because I was doing regular classes every week, a couple of times per week, 3 times per week. So I think in the first half a year, my German was basically like on the same level, didn't improve at all. And then only in the second part of the year, it really started to improve. And now actually I do feel like my German is better, but it's still far from fluent. And yeah, my tip would be, I mean, it really depends on your situation and what do you need German for. If you need a job in Germany and you cannot get it without really good German, you have a big motivation. If you have a German partner or German friends, you also have this, additional help or additional motivation to learn the language. I really didn't have any of that. I speak English at home with my husband. I speak English at work, and I don't have any German friends. So I really didn't practice and didn't really need German that much. Yeah, my progress was just really, really slow, in my opinion. It wasn't really slow, but it could be better. It definitely could be better. The thing with language is that it really impacts your quality of life so much. If you're feeling comfortable speaking the language, you can do so many things, local things, that you cannot really do if you don't speak the language. And that's going to be the next point about integration. If you want to feel integrated, my tip would be to throw yourself into learning the language in a new country, or in Germany specifically, because that's going to have the biggest impact, the biggest effect on your quality of life. So yeah, in terms of integration, and that was my second point, what is actually being integrated? For me, being integrated means that I have things to do locally. I have my, yoga studio in the town where I live, or I have the gym, or I can take classes in German and feel comfortable doing it, not being super scared and uncomfortable and so on. It's having friends or people that again, around where you live. That's, to me, feeling integrated. And for me, 1 year later, I'm getting there, but I definitely don't feel 100% integrated yet. After 1 year, I don't feel comfortable taking classes in German, but I'm doing that, so that's gonna help. As I said, to me, in my situation, in where I live, the most important thing that I can do for feeling integrated is to learn the language. But I guess it's not always like this. If you live in a Berlin or Munich, in super international cities, you can feel integrated there very quickly, because these cities are so international that having international people is the norm. These cities are already not just for Germans, and you can find so many things going on in English and so on, which is not the case for me. I live in a small town in Bavaria, and for me to feel integrated, to be able to join all these local things, local classes, to go to local events, everything is in German, and I do really need to speak really good German. So these two things are really, really connected for me. Yeah, in terms of social situation and feeling and having people and friends in Germany after 1 year, I also cannot say that I've really improved a lot. I have Russian friends who live 1 hour away, so not really close to me. And we also have some international English speaking friends, but I don't have any German friends whatsoever. Again, everything is about German and learning German. And how do you even make friends, right? By joining things that you already like some hobbies, some classes and so on. And if you don't do that, and I, again, speak English at home, I speak English at work, I work remotely, I cannot really, there is nowhere for me to meet people other than that. And yeah, so only now, again, I have started to kind of go to more local places, local classes. And yeah, I think that that's going to also improve the situation. Here another thing is that I'm actually 8 months pregnant right now, so honestly the friends situation has kind of changed in the past months, and I will maybe talk about it in other videos to just not make this one even longer. But when you're about to have a family and none of your current friends have children or are planning to have children, you realize that naturally things are going to change. And so now I'm actually just really hoping to meet people from kind of that other world by joining pregnancy classes and all these things, which I hope can help me and my husband feel a little bit more integrated as well. But anyways, this is a completely different story. But yeah, anyways, my biggest tip, if you are living in the, if you have the same situation as me in terms of friends and living in a kind of a smaller place, because if you're living in a big city, I really think it's really easy to meet people. There's so many expats, there's so many foreigners that are actually looking for friends. When you're living in a small town like me, people are not looking for friends. They have been living here for maybe their whole life. They have their friends already since childhood and so on. So it's not the same. So it's definitely much, much harder to meet people and connect with people. in smaller German towns, but it's not impossible. And yeah, my biggest tip would be just to join local things where you can meet people, like things that are your hobbies or classes that you like. And for that to feel comfortable doing, you need to throw yourself into learning German. So everything is kind of dependent on another thing, but I mean, yeah, that's how it is. So what can I say in general after 1 year of living in Germany? I had my ups and downs during this whole year. First, I was really excited to be moving here from Spain. I really just wanted to experience something different already after, you know, being really used to Spanish lifestyle. Yeah, I was really excited, but then it was really hard. I felt really isolated at some point. I felt, yeah, a little bit like an outsider when you're, you know, you don't speak the language, you're just by yourself, you don't find things to do, especially winter time has been really hard in Germany. I have several videos about winter where I complained quite a bit. But yeah, so the whole year was like this, and I really wanted to actually make this video after 1 year because I wanted to experience summer in Germany, because I thought that it was gonna be really different, and it is. Summer time in Germany is really nice, and I actually really loved it here in summer. Because the weather conditions are not so good during the whole year. I mean, it rains a lot, and it's quite cold. In summer, everything comes alive. People do so many things, like they want to pack their whole life into this 3 months of summer, because yeah, that's when you can really do so many things outside. The weather is nice. It has actually been really hot this summer, but you can go to lakes, you can go to all these beer festivals, you can go to the mountains, and like so many places really. But also it's not super hot like it was in Spain, for example. I mean, for me in Spain it was really hard to survive July and August, because the heat is just incredible. Like you cannot do anything. But yeah, in Germany in general, summer weather was really balanced and nice, and there is a lot of things going on, a lot of activities that you can do. So that's really nice. And as you know, summer finishes, and now I'm recording this in the end of September. No, actually it's already beginning of October. Yeah, it's becoming colder, it's becoming rainier, and it becomes more boring. I'm just gonna have to say it. Like, life in Germany, yeah, it's more calm, it's more quiet. Again, depending on where you live, of course. Yeah, comparing to life in Spain, there is not so many activities you can do during the year. Like, you have to be really creative to find things to do, and it can be quite boring sometimes. At least that's how it was for me last winter. There is just not so many things to do, like, because you are so dependent on doing things indoors, there's not so much offer, if that makes sense. And I realized that German people just really like just being home. I don't know, like on the weekends here, okay, I live in a town of about 18,000 people. I mean, it's small, but it's not that small. There are bars, there are restaurants, and so on. But oh my God, on the weekends, on Sundays, there is no one outside. It's dead. And German people, it seems like they just really like being at home and enjoying, I don't know, their family time or whatever. And I also like it sometimes. But generally, you basically have to be really creative to find things to do and to make your life more interesting. My biggest realization, basically, after 1 year of Germany, that living in a certain country will not really make you happy. It's very easy for me to say that life in Spain was so much more fun and so much more like interesting, but it's not a fair comparison, because I'm comparing the last year of me living in Spain with the first year of me living in Germany, which is completely unfair to compare that, because when I first moved to Spain, I was miserable. I was feeling exactly the same, if not worse than I was feeling in Germany. I mean, I felt isolated. I felt like I couldn't speak the language, and I was all the time an outsider, not understanding anyone and so on, not being able to go to places and feel comfortable joining things, and so on and so on. But once I became comfortable there, once I learned the language and so on, and I made friends, it was all good. So I think it's not really the country. Anywhere you move abroad, it's gonna be difficult. The first year it's gonna be difficult, and you have to really be proactive and do things to make your life better. You have to learn the language. You have to go out there and try to meet people. You have to join activities and so on, even if it's uncomfortable. And that's what makes us happy in the end. Not a certain country, not a certain weather even, right? It's the people that surround us, it's the job that we do, it's the things that we do in our free time. These are the things that really make our life better, and these are the things that actually make us happy in the end. I feel like people always want to choose and want you to say like, oh, so where life was better, like where were you happier? And I cannot say that I was happier in Spain, because that wouldn't be true. When I was there, I was feeling the same. I also had struggles. I also had ups and downs. Yes, it was completely different. Like the surroundings were completely different. I was living in a coast, was eating seafood, it was sunny all the time, but that doesn't mean that I was walking around happy 24/7. And now that I'm in Germany, like, and it rains outside, I'm not happy. It doesn't work like that, in my opinion at least, and in my experience after moving around quite a bit. If you're not happy inside, another country will not make you happy. And if you're happy inside, no matter where you move, you're gonna make your life, create your life in a way that makes you happy. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something useful out of it. If you have any questions about living in Germany or you need any tips, let me know down in the comments or follow me in Instagram and DM me there. I'm also an accredited coach and I'm really, really passionate about, just designing our lives in a way that makes us happy. So if you want to chat with me or book a free clarity call, click the link below and go ahead and book it. Again, thanks a lot for watching and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.